This is the last few questions on the notes for lesson 13.1. So number 15, we have an application for what we've been doing, and it says, given the area of the triangle, find the base. So I don't know how long this is, but what I do know is the area. So if you remember, if you look back up towards the top of the page, we had a problem where I gave you the base and the height, and you had to find the area. This time I'm giving you the area and the height, you just have to find the base. So if you think about this formula that I have here, how would you solve that for b? Well, we would multiply by 2, and so I'd have 2a is equal to base times height, and then to solve for b, I would divide by h. So we did that earlier in the year where we solved these literal equations, and that's actually going to help me right here because I need to solve for base. So I can use that now to help me do my equation for this. So instead of the a, I'm going to write this. So I'm going to have 2 times 50 a to the 4th, b to the 5th. I'm just kind of using the same principles that we've used up above. And I'm going to write feet out like this. And then I'm going to have divided by, and then the height is the 5 a to the 2nd, b, and then feet again. And when I solve that, that's going to give me the base. Okay, so I just need to solve that equation. So using what I've done before, the 50 is 5 times 10, and so I could use that to simplify like that, and then I could cancel out my a's, and I could cancel out a b, and I could cancel out feet. So what I have left is I have 2 times 10, and then a to the 2nd, and then b to the 4th, and then feet. And that is the base of the triangle. So that's the easiest way to do that problem, where you think about this equation first and think, how would I solve that for b? That's going to help you get to the answer the fastest. Okay, and then the last one, number 16, given the volume, find the length. So remember that the formula for volume is length times width times height. So if I'm trying to solve for length, how do I get that by itself? So since this is being multiplied here, I'm going to divide by width times height. So length is equal to the volume divided by width times height. So I can use that to find the length. So I'm going to come over here. Here's my length that I'm looking for. So I'm going to say length is equal to, the volume is 144, and then m to the 5th, and then n to the 6th. And then for meters cubed, I don't want to write m cubed because then it looks like that one. So I'm just going to write meters, and even though it's a pain, I'm going to write it 3 times. Sometimes it's just worth it. And then I'm going to divide it by the width, which it's either this one or this one. It doesn't really matter which one's which. So I'm going to write the 8. I'm going to go ahead and simplify this down. And then m to the 2nd, and then n, and then meters. And then times the height, and that's going to be my 6. So I'm going to write 2 times 3, and then m, and then n to the 3rd, and then that's meters. And I'm going to come back here to the top for the 144, and I'm going to write that differently. Instead of 144, that's 12 times 12. So I'm going to write 2 times 2 times 3 times 2 times 2 times 3. Okay, now I'm ready to come back and see what I can cancel. So I can say this 2 and this 2 cancel. And then I can do m's. Got another 2. Got a 3. An m, n, okay, so what do I have left? What I have left is 3 m to the 2nd, n to the 2nd, meters, and everything is gone on the bottom, and so that is the length of that prism. And so that's how you would do that. So this skill that we learned earlier this year about solving literal equations, that's really very helpful when you're doing something like this. Okay, you're ready for your homework now. And so as you do your homework, I would encourage you to keep your notes handy with all of the examples and go back and look at the properties that were on that first page. And like I've said before, I'm not explicitly going over them because I wanted to write everything out, and what I'm hoping is that you understand them, not just memorize them. So hopefully that is helpful to you. I know that in high school for me, I just memorized everything and that didn't work because I didn't remember it. It was too confusing. There were too many things to remember and I didn't know a way out. So I didn't know that if you wrote things out or if you expanded your polynomials that you could get out of it if you didn't remember what the formulas were. So that's something that I feel like is really helpful to know. Okay, go ahead and do that assignment.